Hey guys, I've just come back from a grocery store shopping trip and I have my bags full of products from Trader Joe's. So these are my picks from Trader Joe's that are whole food, plant-based, vegan, super healthy. I'm gonna lay them out on the table behind me and go close up in on every item I bought and sort of talk you through it, what I have purchased for the week. So I think you're gonna enjoy this. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing is organic flaxseed meal. And what do they say here? You can put it in pancakes and waffles and baked goods, which you totally can. You can also put it in, on cereal and oatmeal and coconut yogurt. But I will say that I do prefer, here's a tip, if you're making smoothies, use whole flax seeds because they tend to be fresher than ground and they'll get pulverized in the blender anyway. So I'll use whole for my smoothie, and then I'll get this ground flaxseed meal for making flax eggs and baked goods and all of that good stuff. But it's a really good price from TJ's. Keep it in the fridge. Then there is walnut halves and pieces. So it's always less expensive to get the halves and the pieces than the whole walnuts. Always get the nuts raw because they will be fresher and you can toast them and salt them yourself. Remember that walnuts actually are really, really protective against breast cancer, actually, in particular. So try and eat walnuts every week. And I put them in baked goods, obviously brownies, banana bread, delicious, but I'll also pop them in a smoothie. And I make tacos. I'll put the recipe, actually, or link to the recipe for the tacos underneath this video because I have a very, very good recipe. Actually, I'm going to show you another thing that I got today, which goes in that recipe, is Sundried Tomatoes. And the Sundried Tomatoes are a really, really good idea to always have in your pantry because they contain a lot of iron. So for those of you who aren't eating meat, it's a very, very good way to get a big shot of iron in your system. And a lot of people don't know that about sun-dried tomatoes. All right, so moving on, what did I find? Some sprouted tofu. I like sprouted tofu, and obviously tofu and any soy product really has to be organic. And I like the fact that this one comes in two little pouches like this, so you don't have to use the whole thing at once. Because I never use that much tofu. Here I have organic coconut cream, very, very useful for when I'm making delicious desserts or even a curry and I want to add a little bit more cream to it, or a soup. And again, it's organic and really easy. It just comes in that little easy to open can. So thank you for that, TJ's. If you like jam or jelly, the organic reduced sugar cherry preserve is off the charts. It is so good. It's probably my favorite jelly right now because it's not too sweet. I don't like things that are too sweet. So put that on top of some almond butter on a piece of sprouted grain toast or a cracker, and that makes for an amazingly delicious snack. Okay, and I'm just going to lean over and pick up this baked tofu right here. So baked tofu is something I always have in my fridge because it's already kind of marinated, as you can see here, because it is quite a job sometimes to have to kind of get all your tofu marinated and baked and whatnot, and no pan clearing up. So yeah, we're not cooking from scratch here, but it is really, really delicious. And so I pretty much always have one of those to hand. Okay, so let's move on now to cans. So I tend to get a lot of my beans in cans because it really cuts down on the convenience factor, obviously. And Trader Joe's, their cans are BPA free. My favorite canned beans are Eden Foods. To me, they taste better. I just love them. I think they're the highest quality beans. But in a pinch, and to save money, if I'm making tons of hummus or whatever, I'll get their Garbanzo beans And we eat a lot of black beans in the house because we do a lot of Mexican food. And with the tacos that I'm making later, I will use these beans. Talking of tacos in Mexican, I have a net of avocados, little avocados. I don't get avocados organic because I don't really feel that they're necessary to be so. They're not on the dirty dozen list. And I eat about a avocado a day, I would say, on average. But these are good because these are smaller ones, so I'm not cutting one open and then wasting the rest of it. Then I have their broccoli slaw. I've already opened this particular bag because I made some salad for lunch, and I like their slaw because it's crunchy. I can put it in salads. And here's another tip for you. When I'm making a chili, a slow cooker chili, I put an entire bag into the slow cooker because it disappears, and all of those broccoli stalks and carrots, nobody knows they're there, but it's a great way, particularly for kids and people that you want to get more veggies in their diet without them knowing. That is a very, very good trick. I've kind of mixed everything up a little bit here. I wish I was a little bit more organized. Let's go on to watercress here. Watercress. I'm going to change that so you can see in the light a little bit more. Organic watercress. So glad that TJ's does that because it's not always that easy to find watercress. And it's so healthy. Out of all the greens that have been tested, it has the highest nutrient profile out of everything, even kale. So I think it was a study that was done a little while ago, but bok choy and bok choy and watercress came in the top 3. But I love it because it's peppery. I put it in salads, wraps, and sandwiches, and it reminds me of growing up because we live right next door to a watercress farm, so we ate a lot of it. My mum has always been super, super healthy. Okay, so fruit, I only buy berries when they are in season and organic, fresh berries, I should say. I buy frozen organic berries year round, but I can't afford to buy fresh organic berries unless they're in the peak of season because they're just too expensive. So luckily, Trader Joe's has some, they have a long growing season, actually certainly here in California, so that is good. So I snagged those up. I also really like their pomegranate seeds, as does my daughter. They're not organic, but I don't believe pomegranate seeds have to be organic. They're certainly not on the dirty dozen list, and we like those. They're just crunchy. My daughter eats them with a teaspoon. I put them on top of coconut or almond yogurt, and I put them in salads as well because they make a salad look so pretty. And then I have a cauliflower. I'm never without a cauliflower because I make cauliflower mash, cauliflower rice, cauliflower pizza, cauliflower, just about everything. Actually, my next thing is I want to make cauliflower brownies. Has anybody made a cauliflower brownie before? Because that's what I want to try. Sounds gross, but I have seen them on Pinterest. But it doesn't have to be organic, but they have the choice of organic or not. So I just picked up the organic because there wasn't a huge price difference with that. Then I got myself some sugar snap peas, organic. I love sugar snap peas, and they're always really fresh, the ones at TJ's. And what I do with those is snack on them, basically. My whole family, they're so crunchy, we snack on them, we put them in salads, or I very gently steam them. Then we have the organic power greens, which I've talked about before. I love this blend for smoothies. They're very small, baby, soft leaves, so they blend very well, and they're sweet. Some kale in smoothies can be really, really bitter, and that's why I love it. And I love the fact that there's 3 different greens in it, which makes it a little bit more nutritious and interesting. You always want to really think about varying your foods. Don't eat the same thing every single day. Talk about varying foods. I love fresh fennel. Again, this doesn't have to be organic. Fennel is so crunchy. It's so good for your digestion. So if you have IBS or digestive issues, try and eat a bunch of fennel. You can either roast it or you can just chop it up into little tiny cubes and put it in your salad, and it makes for a very crunchy salad. Last produce item I'm showing you. before we get on to dairy, which I'll move, is organic potatoes. And Trader Joe's almost always has organic potatoes, sweet potatoes, and regular. These are gold potatoes. And I like my potatoes. They're not always on the Dirty Dozen list, but I prefer my potatoes to be organic, potatoes and onions, and they're a pretty good price at this store. 2 more dairy items. Trader Joe's does carry Earth Balance. So Earth Balance obviously comes in a bunch of different flavors. There's a soy-free, there's a coconut that I think you can get at Whole Foods, and a bunch of Sprouts, different health food stores. I think even Ralph's does it now. Trader Joe's only does, or mine only does, this original one, but I my family like it. It does have that buttery taste. And again, with all these spreads, in a perfect world, they're not the healthiest in a perfect world, we'd just get all of our fats from just nuts and seeds and avocados. But hey, I certainly don't live in a perfect world. I like this a lot. This is the cultured vegan butter, Mayoko's. And again, this is not just Trader Joe's. This is available, really, you can get it on their website, but you can get it at Whole Foods, Sprouts. I've seen it at a bunch of different stores, L1 if you live in Los Angeles, but it's delicious, and it really does taste a lot like butter, and it kind of sort of looks a little bit like butter as well. You can just put it in a butter dish, which is kind of cool. Okie dokie doke, let's move on to soy milk here. This is a brand of soy milk that I really like, West Soy. It's unsweetened. I either get the vanilla or the plain. It's organic and the whole thing, GMO, non-GMO. But for some reason, this one is one that tastes, is my favorite tasting one out of all the soy milks. I either do soy or almond or hemp or cashew or whatever, but if I have soy, that's the one that I like, and I bake with it. Then I found these 2 kind of interesting drinks, which again are not they're probably available at tons of other places as well, but this I thought looked really good. I'll put the link underneath. It might be local to LA, but it's a probiotic kefir water tea, the Living Apothecary, which looks so delicious. I'm going to have to crack that open tonight. And then I found a kombucha. They had all the regular, really big brands of kombucha, which a lot of them are heavily pasteurized, and it sort of defeats the purpose because you want probiotics to be in it, and if it's pasteurized, that's going to kill all the probiotics. This one I haven't really heavily investigated yet, I have to be honest, but it's mint lime, and I love mint and lime because what I do is I mix it with a little bit of sparkling water and put masses of fresh muddled mint, so it's like a little bit like a mojito, which is super delicious. And then I'm almost done. Yeah, actually I am done. I just bought a few spices, but that's boring. So anyway, that is my TJ's little haul for today. And I'll be back with other. If you like this video, because I love doing these little haul videos from different stores that I go to, let me know, because it's fun and it's really easy for me to do, and I can give you various recommendations. All right, my friends, see you later.